The Mercedes camp has had a mixed experience the 2022 F1 season. They are currently in third place in the constructors' standings, and Hamilton is out of title contention. The year also saw the first signs of a shakeup in the Briton's confidence. Despite this, Hamilton is willing to continue competing in the sport in years to come. Why has the Briton shut the door against retirement? Stay tuned to find out. Mercedes is having a difficult 2022, and there has been a lot of speculation about whether or not this would cause Lewis Hamilton to give up and retire from the sport. Instead, it appears Lewis Hamilton is eager and willing to continue racing for even longer, adding even more glory to his already impressive resume as the most decorated driver in Formula One history. Now, a contract extension seems the most logical outcome. Hamilton is still performing at a very high level, putting in a lot of effort to improve the team's situation, and he is completely committed to returning Mercedes to its previous position as a race-winning machine. Hamilton has stated on multiple occasions that his desire to remain in the sport is stronger than it has ever been. At the beginning of this season, Lewis Hamilton signed a contract extension that would keep him in Formula One for the next 2 years. But according to Mercedes boss Toto Wolff, Lewis Hamilton will continue to compete in the sport for another 5 years. Wolff believes Lewis Hamilton will win an 8th world title with the team before he retires from Formula One. The World Championship was controversially taken away from the Mercedes driver on the final lap of last season, but Wolff is certain that his driver will get another opportunity to break Michael Schumacher's record of 7 career championship wins. Wolff said, "I am absolutely certain that Lewis can win the 8th world title with us. He is not going to go elsewhere, and if we can provide a car that is competitive and he can fight for wins, he is going to win more titles." For him, retirement is still far away. But he asks himself, am I still happy with my performances? And once he comes to the conclusion that he is not, he will be the first one to say that is it. Wolff said that he believes Hamilton, who is currently 37 years old, will continue to compete in Formula One long into his 40s. Hamilton's former teammate and rival, Fernando Alonso, recently signed a multi-year deal with Aston Martin that will see him continue to race well into his 40s. Wolff believes that Alonso's path of longevity influenced Hamilton's decision to keep competing even in his 40s. Wolff continued, "I have no doubt that we will be extending beyond 2023. The science today can make sports people, if they are disciplined, go much longer than in the past. Look at Fernando Alonso. He is 41 and he is still mega, so no doubt there are many years left in Lewis."
If you look at where Fernando is with 41 years, he's still very much there. He's very competitive still. I think Lewis, with ultra narrow focus on his Formula One racing, I think can take it quite far.
During the Singapore Grand Prix, Wolff had no problem disclosing the details of his private conversation with the Englishman. Wolff said, "The advantage is that we both live in Monaco, one close to the other, and last week we sat down to talk. He told me he had 5 more years ahead of him and asked me how I saw it. Over the years, we have grown up together and we are clear with each other. Lewis will be the first to tell me when he thinks he can't do it anymore. So I have no doubt that whatever we agree on, a contract extension, which is going to happen, that we both are always going to discuss very openly what does the future hold." You're enjoying this video, right? You definitely don't want to miss out on other amazing videos, so all you have to do is hit the subscription button. It's that easy. Thanks for doing that. Let's move on. There are various factors driving Hamilton on. Hamilton is crucial to Mercedes' attempt to recover from a poor start to the new set of technical rules. He is aware of how important his role is for Mercedes to develop its way out of this setback, and he appears to be embracing the challenge of being a true team leader and the responsibility that comes with it. Then there are the various diversity and inclusivity initiatives that have been very important to Hamilton in recent years, such as the Ignite charity that he formed with Mercedes and trying to get all 10 F1 teams to sign up for a charter that the Hamilton Commission put together. Hamilton said, "I still feel fresh and still feel like I've got plenty of fuel left in the tank. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm really, really proud and enjoying arriving every day working with this incredible group of people. I'm also enjoying working with the sport more than ever. We've got some great people leading the sport and having great conversations about the direction we're going as a sport. So I'm enjoying it more than ever in that space." Hamilton has been a dedicated part of the Mercedes team instead of throwing tantrums and waiting for Mercedes to sort itself out, which would have been a poor choice, although that wasn't always the perception from the outside. While he was very disappointed and at times frustrated, Hamilton appeared and sounded, for the most part, like a driver who was still devoted to the cause. He put in a lot of effort and was responsible for most of the experimental work. However, his work ethic has been chronically undervalued during his whole career, particularly during the time when Mercedes was the dominant force in F1. So perhaps this was just too easily overlooked. Hamilton has always been a magnet for speculation about his future. When he had a contract with Mercedes coming to an end in 2020, and talks kept being delayed amid the worst of the COVID-19 pandemic, there was wild speculation something was afoot and that Hamilton could walk away from F1. After that, he only agreed to an extension of 1 year, covering 2021. But if he was so committed, cynics asked, why didn't the deal reflect that? There were explanations for this. Knowing that his career was nearing its end, Hamilton needed to give careful consideration to just what it was that he desired. A few months later, Hamilton had his current 2-year contract confirmed, which put an end to the rumours of a possible Hamilton retirement. After the controversy in Abu Dhabi, in which Hamilton lost the race win and a record 8 titles, the rumour was again the talk of the tumultuous 2021-2022 winter. Then the prospect of Hamilton's career ending abruptly was much more realistic. But with what Toto Wolff recently revealed, the F1 icon is still very much involved in the sport as a driver even in years to come. Since making his Formula 1 debut with McLaren in 2007, Hamilton has won at least 1 race every season, earning him a total of 7 world championships in the process. However, due to Mercedes' problems competing with Red Bull and Ferrari at the very front this year, Hamilton is currently in the midst of the longest winless run of his Formula 1 career. This streak dates back to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in December 2021. Hamilton has a record 103 wins to his name, and he has entered the year 2022 with a shot at breaking the record for the most consecutive seasons in which he won a race. He is currently tied on 15 seasons with Michael Schumacher. Due to the layout of the street circuit in Singapore, Mercedes had a great opportunity to be competitive. Yet, Mercedes' performance in Singapore was once again disappointing. They themselves are also surprised by the disappointing performance at the Marina Bay street circuit. In Singapore, they had high hopes of claiming their first victory of the current campaign. But it was the same old story: poor performance. Even though George Russell had a terrible Saturday and Sunday, Lewis Hamilton demonstrated that the W13 could compete with Red Bull Racing and Ferrari in Singapore. On Saturday, Hamilton was unlucky since the track dried up slowly and he was unable to go out at the right time to take maximum advantage at the right time. The Briton still fell short of Red Bull and Ferrari. The speed displayed on Sunday's race could not ultimately be turned into points, in spite of the fact that team boss Toto Wolff emphasized seeing many positives and liked the speed of the W13. While it was flying freely, it was not enough. Allison, a Mercedes engineer, explained what happened. We went into the weekend with no worries about our pace. We were looking forward to a strong race, but sometimes in races, things don't go as planned. Mercedes is far behind in important areas like qualifying pace, and the team is still confused about why exactly this is the case. Given all that remains to be done, 2023 may come a little bit too soon for Mercedes to contend for a title once again. And in that case, Hamilton will need to remain in the sport for a longer period to enjoy the dividends from the work he and Mercedes are doing right now. Who can say for sure what he wants, but it seems highly likely that he will carry out his plan of still racing in the sport. Those who had doubts about Lewis Hamilton's motivations presumably believed that the difficulties Mercedes are experiencing would hasten the end of Hamilton's career. In a twist of irony, it might even make it longer. What's your thought about Lewis Hamilton still racing in F1 beyond his 40s? Let me know in the comment section below. That will be all for today's video. Thanks for staying tuned. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that you can always get to watch more amazing videos like this. See you in the next video.